Hello, good morning, everyone. Can everyone hear me? What? Yes, perfect. So, well, it's time to start. Welcome to this webinar. This is the first webinar of the project edu4sdg. It's part of a series of webinar related to the main topic that we are working in this European project. My name is Mira Ronzoni. I am involved in the project together with Professor Daniel Franco from the Autònoma University of Barcelona. And we have also a speaker today, Dorota Piotrowska and Katarina Alves, that I will present once they start. So very quickly, let's have a look at the agenda. The first one to speak will be Dorota Piotrowska, who is from Łódź University of Technology in Poland, and she is part of the team who coordinate the edu4sdg project. So she will do a short overview of the project that we are working on. Then Katarina Alves from the NGO Welfare and Development Association. We'll talk a little bit about the theory of the collaboration between the third sector and the university in the field of SDG. And then Professor Daniel Franco will go a little bit more in the practical aspect of this collaboration, and both in the field of the university and the SDG, and the partnership between the UAB and the ABD, and this will be my part. So we will present some practical cases on how this cooperation between the two institutions can benefit the development of the SDG. We hope we have a lot of material to share, a lot of content, but we hope to have a little bit of time to do a little bit of Q&A session. Can someone please put, on mute, thank you very much. And then we'll do a short wrap up and the closing. I will explain a little bit more in detail, but as I said at the beginning, this is the first of a series of webinars related to the topics. So we hope that you enjoy this webinar and you can be part of the next session of the webinar we will organize. So I will now give the floor to Dorota Piotrowska, which is university professor and researcher at Łódź University of Technology. And he's coordinating not only the edu4sdg project, but also other international projects at her university, all related to these fields. So Dorota, the floor is yours. If you can do this description of the project that we are working on.
Of course, with pleasure. Good morning, everyone. My name is Dorota Piotrowska, and as it was already mentioned by Mira, I have a pleasure of serving as the leader of edu4sdgs project. And today I'm delighted to welcome you and to guide you through our initiatives, which aims to empower learners, educators, different higher education institutions, but not only, to become true agents of change for sustainable development goals. Let me just begin by briefly presenting our project. So edu4sdgs is an international cooperation project coordinated by my university, Łódź University of Technology, together with partners from Spain, from Germany and Latvia. And our main mission is to develop a comprehensive educational ecosystem that could somehow support emotional and social competences that are essential for achieving the sustainable development goals. So today the world faces a double challenge, we can say. The first, of course, is 2030 agenda. And as far as we see, as we all know, this agenda is at risk. Because progress on the SDGs has largely stalled since 2019, circa about. And the second challenge we have identified is like global levels of emotional intelligence have dropped by 2% in just 1 year. It is, of course, due to COVID-19 pandemic, but there are also some other related crises, and that is why we see it as a real challenge. So most concerning is that the sharpest decline in the competences most critical for advances are most critical for advancing like SDGs. So first of all, we see the strong need for empathy, and we would like to somehow support the development of all skills or competences around empathy. And of course, we would like to somehow support sustainable development goals, address widening gap between like our goals and the current reality. Yeah, hopefully it works. Yes. So as it was already mentioned, our project bridges the gap between knowing about SDGs and acting on them. As we all know, emotional intelligence is ability to perceive, understand, and manage emotions, and strongly predicts effectiveness, well-being, likelihood of taking actions for SDGs. So what we have decided to do, we use the 6 seconds emotional intelligence models, and we would like to somehow develop give yourself, serve to others component, which of course includes increasing empathy, pursuing noble goals, linking daily choices to meaningful long-term purposes, right? And what is quite important to us, what do we mean by increasing empathy? It is first of all seeing beyond one's own perspective. This is something that is very important. These are also our observation in different groups of students, but not only students, also academic staff. So we really feel that knowledge alone is no longer enough. We need emotional intelligence competences to truly advance on SDGs. So that is why we decided to combine SDGs and emotional intelligence. Yes. So our project, edu4sdgs, is of course founded by Erasmus Plus Cooperation Partnership Fund, and runs from October 2023 to September 2026. And of course, our as you can see on the slide, our consortium includes our university from Poland, Lodz University of Technology, but also Universitat Autònoma de Barcelona, Welfare and Development Association from Spain, ACU agency from Germany as a partner, and also Riga Technical University from Latvia. And the last but not least, a team coaching company from Poland being representative of a business partner. The total budget of our initiative is €400,000. And as I mentioned many times, together we are very much committed to building some tools that will help learners develop some emotional skills needed for positive societal transformation. Okay, hopefully it works. Okay, so within this project, we are creating different, we do hope, innovative and also accessible resources that hopefully will make some impact and will, support the development of some crucial skills. So the key outputs, key deliverables of this project include an online SDGs University Knowledge Hub. This is an online learning platform supporting cross-sectoral collaboration. So you can find the link. We are very keen on developing learning bites and flexible learning pathways around SDGs just to make them more available for students. So that is why within this project, we decided to develop a system of micro-credentials, so system of digital budgets, in the field of SDGs and emotional and intelligence, just to support this flexibility and, of course, upskilling and deliver some upskilling, reskilling learning opportunities for our learners. Then we also developed a city game and outdoor game designed to strengthen some emotional intelligence while learning about SDGs. And of course, some maybe more typical tools like a series of trainings, some webinars, summer schools, but we've somehow fulfilled this learning environment in the field of emotional intelligence and SDGs. And the last, but I do hope very needed and very useful deliverables will be a sort of roadmap for universities. So a kind of a practical guide for higher education institutions that will somehow support them to accelerate their SDGs contributions. So the main goal of all these tools, of course, is to empower individuals, empower institutions to become effective agents of change. I think that's it as far as the general description of the project is concerned. Thank you very much for your attention, and it was a great pleasure for me to share our vision and the progress with you. And I think that at this point, I would like to hand over the floor to the next speaker, who will continue the next part of our presentation.
Great, thank you so much, Dorota. So yes, now we can hand it over to Catarina Alves. Catarina is an associate professor at the UAB and IES. She's specialized in gender study, and she also works as international project manager at ABD, which is the Welfare and Development Association. Catarina, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mira, and thank you everyone for coming and all the organizers of this webinar. Well, I will be doing my intervention focusing on the role of the third sector, as I am part of the NGO that is also a partner in this project, and how the third sector can advance on the SDGs, and how this role becomes even more impactful when it connects with the university ecosystem. So before looking precisely into the third sector, I want to briefly frame this within the broader global context. As you all know, the 2030 Agenda sets out 17 Sustainable Development Goals organized around 5 key pillars. These pillars are people, planet, prosperity, peace, and partnership. And these pillars remind us that social, environmental, and economic questions are interconnected and that progress requires cooperation across sectors. In Catalonia specifically, the government has adopted this global vision through a national SDGs plan, which embeds the SDGs into public action and strategic planning. This means that municipalities, universities, civil society organizations, private companies, all of them are part of the equation and collaborate in it. Why is this important for today's discussion? Well, because the SDGs were designed to be achieved through shared responsibility. No single actor, neither governments or universities or NGOs, can address all these complex issues: poverty, inequality, health, education, in isolation, right? So the only way forward is through partnerships, which is why the third sector and universities have such a strategic role. I'm having trouble changing the slides. Okay. So the third sector can be a tool for social transformation. When we speak about the third sector, we know that we are referring to the network of non-profit organizations, foundations, associations, cooperatives, community projects, any type of civic society organization that works for the public good, and they sit outside both public administration and the private market. But we collaborate with both. In Spain and in Catalonia in particular, from where I'm speaking, the third sector is strong, is diverse, and is deeply rooted in our society. Many organizations have decades of experience, and they work very close to the social reality, sometimes closer than any other actor. That proximity makes the third sector essential. We see needs as soon as they appear, and we understand local dynamics as we are often the first ones to respond to social situations of vulnerability. When we talk about social protection today, it's important to highlight that close collaborations within the third sector and the welfare state are installed and constant. Instead of working in parallel, both actors complement each other to address social needs in a more effective way. Basically, the public system provides the structural framework, the policies, and the essential services guaranteed by our rights. And in the meantime, the third sector organizations contribute with our flexibility, proximity to communities, and ability to innovate and adapt quickly to emerging challenges. So who is really implementing the SDGs on the ground? It's very often a combination between the third sector and the welfare state in direct access to the populations in need. This brings us why the third sector is a response and such a powerful driver of transformation. First of all, proximity. We are close and we work directly with the people who are most affected by poverty, discrimination, migration challenges, gender violence, etc. We offer personalized support, which is something that large institutions often cannot do with the same agility. On the other hand, practical expertise. While governments provide long-term strategies and universities provide academic knowledge, NGOs operate in the immediacy of people's lives. We test methodologies, we detect what works, and we adjust our interventions constantly. This means that our knowledge is very applied, very contextual, and for that, extremely valuable. Then we would have innovation in social response. Many of the policies, of the social policies that exist today, like housing first, harm reduction programs, community health initiatives, inclusion pathways, they started as pilot projects developed by NGOs on the field. We innovate because we have flexibility, because we see issues firsthand, and of course, because we are a motivated sector that avoids the bureaucratic cycles in an easier manner than the public administration. And then we have advocacy. Of course, we give voice to people who are often invisible. We constitute a sort of observatory of the reality that we find, and we also elevate the voices of those who do not have the stage or the space to make their voices heard. This is why we raise awareness, we put pressure on institutions, we generate debate, and we make inequality visible. This advocacy is also essential to ensure that public policies and SDG strategies are grounded, obviously, in lived experience. So how does this translate into SDG implementation? So the third sector is not just delivering services, we are generating evidence. We collect data from the ground, from shelters, from youth centers, from community projects, etc. And this data helps us identify the emerging challenges. What new forms of exclusion are we finding? What patterns in homelessness, for example? Which inequalities in access to services? Which digital divides? Or the impact of rising living costs that we see every day? These are not just theoretical observations for us. These are daily experiences that we escalate to higher grounds of decision making. For example, in the case of the SDG number 1, no poverty, relies heavily on frontline organizations. Good health and well-being, the SDG number 3, is advanced by NGOs working in mental health, addictions, or community care. Or SDG number 5, gender equality, that depends on the daily work of women's organizations and feminist services. This is why the third sector must be seen not simply as an implementer, but as a co-designer of public policy. Without its knowledge, the SDG strategy would risk being disconnected from the reality. And this is also where universities play a transformative role in this connection of three systems and institutions. Universities bring rigorous research, analytical tools, and the capacity to build frameworks and models that are transferable and scalable. They help measure impact, evaluate programs, and systematize knowledge that NGOs produce every day, but may not always have the time or structure to document formally. On the other side, third sector organizations offer exactly what universities often lack, which is direct access, direct contact with the complexities of real life, daily life of the most vulnerable populations. Social problems, we know, are messy, are complex, are unpredictable, are fast changing, and are deeply personal. Something you can't always capture, obviously, in a classroom or in a data set, but that the collaboration between the third sector and universities allows. So when NGOs and universities work together, they can produce and co-create research that shapes better public policies, offer service learning experiences, for example, for students to apply their knowledge to real challenges, develop innovation labs that prototype new models of care or even digital tools for inclusion, as we are developing in this European project, and, for example, design training programs, or in this case also micro-credentials that respond to the real social needs identified directly in the field. This is also why we always make a shout at this goal, the 17th goal, partnerships for the goals. We understand that in many ways, it's through this goal number 17 that we can develop all previous goals. It's through partnerships and shared collaboration. And with this, I finish my presentation and I leave the floor to Daniel Franco, who will present how universities are actually applying these principles and this collaboration. And I will be available at the end for questions if there are any. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Kat. Welcome. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here. I am Daniel Franco, professor from Universitat Autònoma Barcelona, and now I'm going to explain to you very briefly the initiative and the action from UAB related to SDGs. Let's see if I can change the slide. I cannot see. Can you see next slide? Of Mira? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so thank you. Starting from the global roadmap of sustainable development that we have introduced, we first of all we recognize the crucial role of higher education institutions in social transformation, and in this talk I will put the focus on two main things. First of all, the collective commitment of all Catalan public universities that are under an association, and then the specific strategies that my university has developed in relation to SDGs. In the next slide, you can pass Mira because I cannot. Yeah, it's worthwhile to mention this association of public Catalan universities, that they notice that they have a pivotal role in social transformation and sustainable development, together with other agents like Kat mentioned, like NGOs and companies and the government. And then we understand that this is a collective goal, okay, to put these SDGs at the center of the mission of universities, which are education or training, scientific research, and innovation. And this commitment from this Association of Public Catalan Universities was presented in 2017, that explicitly defined a framework to transform our education for a new world. In this sense, this Association of Universities wants to be recognized globally for their commitment and contribution to the Agenda 2030. In the next slide, I will mention the main challenges and action lines of this association. That is, first of all, should be to rethink institutional policies in the fields of sustainability, development, cooperation, and social responsibility. And a main tool is effective coordination among universities, but also intra-universities, to develop all these actions. And this is done with some participatory processes and collective discussion to involve all university agents like students, staff, faculty, for creating debates to collaborate all together. So the next slide, please. Because I cannot, yeah. Now focusing on UAB and SDGs. UAB has a long history with sustainability, implementing plans since 1999. And currently, all these plans, the strategic direction is guided by a plan, what we call Healthy and Sustainability Campus Plan. And the current edition, 23-27, is explicitly aligned with the UAB's strategy with SDGs. So the main Healthy and Sustainability Campus Plan project mission is to improve community health, promote healthy habits, and achieve a more sustainable and environmentally respectful university. This means that we put the focus on one side on people, community, and also on environment in our green campus at university premises. And this plan tries to introduce synergies between teaching, research, and campus management to foster innovative and interdisciplinary projects. So in the next one, the core areas of UAB action in this plan is structured in 8 strategic lines, covering 3 major domains. For community, the plan wants to promote active lifestyle, emotional well-being, healthy eating, and leisure. At campus level, the plan defines actions for mobility, resources, waste, energy, water, territory, and biodiversity in the campus. And putting focus on knowledge and SDGs, their actions trying to put SDGs in research, in teaching, in when we communicate our actions, and also in learning about SDGs and putting SDGs on our study programs that I will explain later. So all this plan, or in the previous one, all this plan is related to university social responsibility framework. Okay, our USR, or we call that, is every institution, company, and university has defined this social responsibility, and we put also this plan in this university social responsibility. And thank you. Next one. Also, UAB Libraries has adopted the Agenda 2030 as a strategic project, and 6 strategic axes like teaching, research, people, campus, governance, and recognition, and has defined 13 specific SDG actions covering all these SDG that we have in the slide: number 4, number 16, number 5, 8, and 10 for people, 7, 11, 16 for campus, 9, 16 for governance, and 16, 17 for recognition. In the next one, an important action is that we have developed a guide to introduce SDGs and global justice in undergraduate and master degree program reports. So all SDGs are introduced at every study program and delivered to students. And this is also because there is a royal decree at Spanish level that mandates that every university should introduce SDG in their study programs. And then this guide helps teachers to organize the study programs in several areas like competencies or learning outcomes and contents and methodologies and assessment. So through this guide, we can introduce SDGs in our study programs. The next one, please. Also, as my colleague Dorota was mentioning at the beginning, we in the project understand that emotional intelligence is very important for SDG implementation or development. So also we put also a focus at UAB on emotional intelligence that we think that is very well related to SDG number 3, health and well-being. And we understand emotional well-being as an important field, and is specifically identified in our healthy and sustainability plan that promotes this emotional self-management. I mean that community, teachers, students, staff are able to learn to identify, to regulate, to manage, to channel, and to positivize emotions. And this is a key for personal well-being and an important competence for conscious self-leadership. And also, the university provides support services of psychology and psychiatry that it's open to all students, faculty, and staff that can go if they feel any problem or they face any issue that they want to comment, they want support for that, they can go directly to this service that is working from 1995. So in the next one, please. So to finish my presentation, the main wrap-ups is these 3 points we have here, that Catalan universities, led by this Association of Catalan Public Universities, is actively placing sustainable development at the core of their missions, teaching, research, and innovation. and we are acting all together. At UAB level, we implement this commitment through our campus healthy and sustainability plan that guides our institutional policies that integrate sustainability, health, emotional well-being across all campus management and community life for all people that is living daily in the university. And also mention that this commitment is deep-seated because it started in 1999 to be a leading, sustainable, and social responsible university. So my last sentence to finish is this point of view that the university engagement with SDGs can be viewed as an institutional ecosystem. Just like any healthy ecosystem requires, for example, clean water, SDG 6, biodiversity, SDG 15, to thrive, a committed university requires integrated academic alignment, SDG 4, internal well-being, SDG 3, to achieve its collective goal of global social transformation, that could be the SDG 17, with collaborating and partnership with other institutions, with the society in general, as Kat was mentioned in her talk. So thank you very much. And that's for my side.
Thank you very much, Daniel. It's very inspiring, this metaphor of the university as institutional ecosystem. And to follow with the webinar, now is my turn to go a little bit more in the practical aspect of this partnership between the university and the NGO. So we have taken our example because this is the ones that we know. And so we have tried with Katarina and with other colleagues from ABD and from also our university to collect the main examples of this partnership between our university and the NGO ABD. So we have seen until now the theory and the main advantages of this potential alliance. And let's now see how this is translated in the real life. So we have. I will present you the main examples, but there are so many that we would need more than one webinar to present them all. One of the main relevant for us is related to the European Alliances project. So I think you all know European Alliances are this partnership between different universities in Europe that get together in order to create new form of learning and new form of mobility for their students. So both UAB and ABD and WUCH, University of Technology, are part of ECIU University, which is this European alliance that nowadays get together 12 universities all over Europe and also one extra European partner. So we have this strategic group, which is called the board of the European Alliance, and ABD is part of it. This is super important because we are, of course, a group of university, but the fact to have an NGO in the very strategic group is super important to get a different point of view, which is also very influent when we talk about our strategy in education, in mobility, in cooperation with our institution. So we have, for example, a representative of the profit organization of companies in the board, and UAB were insisting and pushing to have also a member of the third sector involved. So ABD has been part of the board since the very beginning, and we can really see that all our strategy is positively influenced by their presence. ECIU University also promote this different way of learning that are the challenges, where students from different parts of Europe get together in order to solve societal challenges related to the real world. And so in this sense, the professor and student are working in collaboration with external units that provide, let's say, this problematic issue that they need to be solved. And in this sense, ABD was collaborating for several challenges. And one of the most successful one was the one of La Botiga, and we will send you then more information together with the slide, because it was a very successful example of a project where students were working on a real life problem. It was related to food security and food poverty. And so ABD was promoting this issue and connecting it with a city council. And these three parts of the project, students, an NGO, and the city council were working all together in order to provide a possible solution to the food poverty problem in Barcelona province. A third aspect where we are collaborating with ABD is the one of continuous education. And this is related to the field of microcredential that Dorota was mentioning at the beginning. As you know, microcredential are these short learning offer that they are specially targeted to people who are already working in order to upskill or reskill their competencies. And ETHU University is now working in an offer of micro-credential for these people who are working or for alumni of our universities. So in order to create a micro-credential, first of all, you need to have clear what are the learning needs of these people. And all the micro-credential must be motivated by a real necessity. And in this case, the academia sometimes is lacking this view. So we are very well prepared when it comes about the academic structure, when it comes about teaching staff, but sometimes we are missing what are the real needs of the people who will join this training. And in this aspect, the feedback from the NGO is essential. And thanks to this bilateral cooperation, we were able to create micro-credentials that were not only well done, well structured, and with interesting content, but that they were really useful, because at the end, the goal is to give a micro-credential that is useful for the people who take it. So we have now created 2 micro-credentials so far. One was related to the project management, and one was more general about the leadership of people who are already working in an NGO. And that both micro-credential was, one of them was given in the ECIU context, the context of the European Alliance, and the other 2 were related to the microcred plan, which is a plan for the Spanish government that aim to foster and boost the micro credential. So at the end, the Spanish government put the financial help for people who were taking these courses. The UAB put the structure and also part of funding and the teaching staff. And part of teaching staff was also put by the NGO, but most important, they put the participants, so the people who were in need to take this course, and the learning need. So as you can see, this I think is a very good example on how the joint work between the 2 parts can create valuable solution, valuable proposition. And then again, there are many examples, and we have chosen these 2 to present to you. But I think they are very good because they are related to what Katarina was talking in her presentation. She was talking, for example, about training programs, and the Mama Leona project is a project that was done. This was not related, is not related to our university. It's related to BAU, which is the College of Arts and Design in Barcelona, and ABD. So the 2 parts created a targeted training to learners with special conditions. This training was targeted to women in situation of social vulnerability with children under 3 years old. So for these women, it was very hard to balance family, study, and work. And so together with BAU, ABD created this very specific training with valuable content because it was provided by this college, but also very flexible and very focused on this group of learners. So this is a very good example on how they created this tailored, let's say, this tailored course. And then another example is the Yo Sí Te Veo campaign. This is the communication campaign. It was done during the COVID period, and the goal was to collect financial help for, again, women in situation of social vulnerability. So students from the BAU created a very good communication campaign using material, audio, voice messages, and video from women who were user of ABD. And the result was a very good communication campaign had a lot of quality because it was done by students who was studying this kind of subject, marketing, communication, and so on. But it was also very effective and very real because the content was provided by the NGO. We will also send you the link of this campaign. And recently they also gained an award. So this is also an aspect to consider, but it was very it was very a very good and quality campaign. So what are the main challenges? Because all the projects that we have shown so far are very positive projects, but of course there are a lot of challenges for people who are working in an NGO when it comes to work together with European, with higher education institutions. The first one is there is a strong difference between public and private university. The first one, of course, are the one where usually the collaboration is easier and has, let's say, a better flow and is more agile. However, in general, both for private and public university, it's very hard to start collaboration from zero. So there is a strong need to have insider, let's say, or alliance in the education institution in order to start collaboration. If you want to start something from zero, then it's very hard to, let's say, enter in the dynamic of an institution. Another aspect to consider, and this is kind of sad, but it's the reality we are facing on, is the involvement of students. There is a lack of spontaneous activities. So even if most of the projects are very interesting, are international projects, they have the opportunity to have mobility, to know real life scenario. It's very hard to get the students on board. And a possible solution for this is, for example, to recognize part of the credits. And we are doing this, for example, in ECAU. So after the student participate in a challenge, for example, they can recognize the credit in their transcript of record. So this is a way to, this is, let's say, a workaround to try to get more students on board. And then, of course, there is the part of the funding that is super important. The NGO need financial funding in order to promote and to get people to work in the project. And so one of the reflection that it was done in this sense is that if there is no financial funding available, then at least there need to be a clear win-win for all the organization involved in the project. For example, in the communication campaign that I was mentioning before, there was no funding available, but the funding was arriving after the campaign was created. So if there is funding, of course, it's better because then it's easier to put resources. And if not, at least it's important to have a clear view of the benefit for of this collaboration. And that's everything from my side. So we have reached the end of our presentation, and now we would really like to open the microphone and to know a little bit about what was your experience, or if you have any question, any reflection that you would like to share with us about what we have been talked through. Yes, Justina?
Hello. I think that will be the question to you, Mira, and to Daniel, because considering a lot of experience in sustainable development goals your university has, I am curious if there is any special unit at your university which is coordinating all efforts in teaching, research, or it just happens everywhere and no special unit is needed there.
Yes, thank you, Justina. I think I can answer this question.
Sure.
Well, on one side, there is this healthy and sustainability plan that is coordinated by a unit that has a person, a director of the plan, that coordinates all actions and is talking to each other units, for example, research development or teaching innovation, and also campus management, because we have a campus, integrated campus, that is a city itself, so it needs management, and we take care of environment. So all these point of action, they have their own specific activities, but they try to coordinate and create synergies between them. For example, we use our campus as a living lab for developing new research ideas about sustainability or sustainable management of the campus. Also, we have different study programs that are interdisciplinarity. So they join from engineering, social sciences, and humanities, and they try to put this sustainability on point of view from different aspects. So at the end, I think we manage SDGs from a centralized policy action, and then every unit is developing specific actions.
Okay, thank you very much. So probably there are some indicators and some tools for monitoring what is happening.
Yes, this plan every 5 years elaborates a report with all indicators about, for example, in sustainability, about water, energy spending, or in research impact in society. Also, we collect all this that is reported every 5 years. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Very welcome. We have Rasma.
Yes.
Yeah, hello everyone, and thank you for letting me in this webinar finally. Yeah, actually, it's very interesting from the perspective of people as such. In institutions, we have different policies, different KPIs, etc., etc. But Danielle, you are working in a university most probably more than 10 years, right?
Yes.
Yeah, can you, and I know also that your background is more engineer, IT specialist. So I really want to kind of ask you personally, well, but it will be not personal question, it will be related, of course. How did your life change before sustainability development goals arrived to your workplace, so to say? I think this is very interesting, because very often when we speak about sustainability development goals, we are looking at them like, oh, it doesn't matter for me. It's somebody else gonna do this. This is big plan, big thing.
Yeah.
But how does it reflect in your everyday life? So yeah,
thank you.
I hope I was clear in my question.
Yes. I think it's clear. Thank you very much for the question. No, I can answer. Yeah, personal answer. I think, for example, for all of us, impact, for example, in research projects. When you prepare a research project today, or from many years ago already, that we put the focus on impact of your research project, on impact on society, and this in some way related to SDGs. And this was a big change from all times that we developed a research project thinking on research goals, scientific goals, but the impact to society was not so important. From many years ago to now, European Commission, for example, the mandate was to put the impact, and this made us to put in the consortiums external stakeholders like NGOs, like here ABD, and this was a great impact to make that the university research was to impact society. I think that was important. And the second comment, to very brief, more personal, is universities promoting, for example, for mobility, car sharing, or bicycles, trails, and yes, things like that. And then this impact our life because we can manage our daily lives better. For example, reducing carbon emission and so on. Yeah, that's what I can say. Thank you. Thank you very much. I don't know if we
Thank you very much, Dani.
You're welcome.
Any other question? If not, I will just show you the next webinars that we will organize in our edu4sdg project. As you can see, we have 5 left. They are all related, of course, to SDG, social responsibility, and university action. And the very next one is the one about emotional intelligence and social responsibility that will be organized by team coaching in Poland. We will send you the slide of this presentation together with some links that we hope it will be interesting for you. And yes, we will also share information about this next webinar, as the specific date has not been set yet. Thank you very much for your participation today. We hope to see you in the next webinar. And yeah, Katarina, Daniel, Dorota, that's everything from my side. If you want to add something, just now is the time.
Just to say thank you to all participants and attendants. Thank you very much.
Perfect. So thank you. We are finishing on time, 11 sharp. Bye-bye and have a great rest of the day.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.